strategy, we need to deal with winter shelters, and we need to give SafeGround a chance to present something to us and for us to determine whether or not it's feasible to go forward. And I think there's three separate things here that kind of all melded together, and I think separating them a little bit, I think would probably help all of us in terms of from a clarity standpoint. And what I would say to the SafeGround community here is, if this is a pilot program, and let's say it's a pilot program for 3 to 5 years, if we can get permanent housing for everyone, then we won't need this piece. If we can't get it for everyone, then let's study the 3 to 5 years. If it works, then let's continue to let that be a pilot for others to follow. If it doesn't work, then we would have to say, this doesn't work, we tried it, let's close it down, and we have to move forward. So I think that kind of hedges everyone's bets here in terms of where I think we need to go. So, Cassandra, I think that would be the third thing I'd like us to consider, is just this notion of looking at what SafeGround is thinking about in terms of the development team and working on. They have to go into a community, and a community, we want you, we're willing to do it. You satisfied all of our concerns. I know they're working on that. I think that would make good sense as it relates to public land. I don't think we're making a decision here today, but I certainly would like you to bring something back, or them to bring something back, that we can have a discussion that's clearly about stepping stone to SafeGround, and not so much in a way that's much more convoluted, which I think is kind of a lot harder for all of us to digest. In closing, for me, I think the final thing I would say is we want to create a national model for how we're dealing with homelessness, and I think we're well on our way of doing that. And that's a comprehensive strategy that's long-term, and that new organization, that nonprofit JPA, will probably get us there. So an update on that. Solving winter shelter immediately because the weather has changed. And I know we've made strides, and other council members that are willing to help. And then thirdly, have the SafeGround folks bring something forward so that we can specifically talk about that in a council session. I think would kind of address all of our kind of needs and not paint anybody in a corner. And I think address and put as many balls in the air as possible. And I think, again, we do not want to be in the same situation next year when it comes to winter shelter. We want to try to get a plan together right now so we can get a jump on everything else. So again, just want to thank everyone for coming out. This was one of our first workshops that we've had at 2 o'clock, and this was certainly, I think, well worth it for all of us. And I think each of your updates going forward, we'd be able to do it probably in a regular council session. It would probably be 3 or 4 things all melded together. All right.